Hello everyone, my name is Andrés Potes Morales, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my presentation which is entitled Teaching and Learning English While Being Indoors, Embracing New Strategies for a New Way of Living. The topics of my lecture are first, I'm going to describe the context in which I have been carrying out several activities that I'm going to share with you today. Second topic is the importance of numbers and what they say, the importance of statistics, what could be behind these numbers, strategies for teaching in the new normal, strategies for accompanying our students in their learning processes at home. Current education requires a paramount change. These two images you're seeing on screen do not have too many differences. This is a classical comparison. Probably the only big difference is that one is in color and the other one is black and white. But this third one that you're seeing on the slide is a completely different picture, and it represents our current necessity, educational current necessity. So we see we need network accessibility, which is also a challenge in public education, public schools, and even at the university level. Some students struggle to have accessibility. Device accessibility as well. Not all our students have the proper devices, let's say a computer with enough memory and enough connectivity and stuff like that. Some students only have a cell phone, and we're going to talk about that later. Technological or digital literacy. This is really needed, not only on the part of our students, but on our side as well. We're going to also talk about that later on. And of course, collaboration. And this is not only on the student side, but on the teacher side and on the administration side as well. Our current education needs these four foundations, if you want. So here is the context of my school. It is an urban school located in the north of Cali, public. It's focused on technical education. It has around 8 specialties, including welding, electricity, science, arts, accounting, physical education, among others. At our school, we have from 1 to 4 social strata. We may even have 5 social strata because we receive students from around 20 different institutions, and they receive technical instruction during different days of the week at the school where I work. But the most prominent stratum is 2. The classroom size varies from 28 up to 40 students, being 35 the average. They receive 3 hours of English every week. And we have ethnic diversity as well. We have all kinds of races, let's say. Alright, heads up. Numbers have something to tell us. The slide you're seeing is showing a bar chart. Basically, the pie chart is also showing the same information, but in terms of percentage. So I have 8 grades assigned, and that means 267 students in total, from which 178 have connection and around 89 have accessibility issues. That in terms of percentage means that 66.7 more or less are connected and 33.3 are having connectivity issues. So here I have the numbers per grade. As you can see, these numbers vary. For example, in the grade 10-1, only 3 students have connectivity issues, while in grade, for example, 10-2, around 17 students have difficulty issues. This is what I have noticed in my subject. But in teachers' meetings, we have come to realize that these numbers vary even per subject, which shows that those students do not really have those kind of issues, but they have some kind of preferences. Okay, and well, these numbers have varied. What I'm showing you on this slide is an average, because every month, let's say, the statistics and the numbers change a little bit. In the last column, we see the average. So the average of students that are having problems for connecting are around 11, and the number of students who are connected are around 33. Okay? What could be the reasons for students not to be connected? Okay, first of all, in this picture that you see on this slide, this first picture, it represents what is needed for being connected. And I realized this through experience. In the first virtual meetings, I had a really high absence rate. So, as you are going to see later on, I decided to take action and see what was going on. So I applied some forms to see what was going on, what were the reasons why students did not connect to receive classes. And I found they needed to receive instruction on how to properly use their devices, how to use the email, how to use the calendar. Some of them even told me that they were receiving so many emails from teachers that they lost track of what was it that they were required to do in every subject. So I decided to, as well, I'm going to go deeper in the next slides, but yeah, I decided to make some tutorials for them. In this second picture that you're seeing, it represents the needs students currently have for self-study discipline. I try to guide them on how they can study at home. As I told you in the previous slides, the results vary in every subject, which shows that students may have some kind of preferences. So they would feel motivated more, or they would feel inclined to doing some activities than others. Maybe the level of complexity also of the subject has to do with that, and that's something I'm also going to discuss later. This other picture indicates the importance of collaborative work, and this is not only on this student side. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is needed from the whole community. School administrators, teachers, students, and even parents. And the idea is to avoid what is shown in this last picture, which is chaos. Students sometimes feel loaded with work. Their emails are full of assignments from teachers, or their Google Classrooms, and it is so that sometimes they don't even know where to start. So what have I done? I have helped students use technological tools, as I mentioned before, via video tutorials and written manuals. I have implemented a diverse source of materials, such as video conference, email, Drive, Google Drive, digital books, YouTube support. As a matter of fact, I created last year a YouTube channel, and it has had a great acceptance from my students. Gamification, specifically with these two games that you're seeing in brackets, Be the One Challenge and Duolingo Classroom, which I'm going to show you later on. I have also designed written physical guides, which can be found at school. This is for the students who have connectivity issues. And I have also elicited teacher collaboration sharing meaningful experiences with English teachers in the area meetings. So on this slide you're seeing the kind of guides that I have created. The first one on top was a written guide that I sent to students' emails. I also uploaded to Google Drive folder, and it was also sent to school for the students who had let's say connectivity issues. I have created several of these that you're going to see in the following slides. And these 4 videos that you're seeing in the top right corner are the video tutorials that I have created and uploaded to my channel. The picture that you're seeing in the down right corner corresponds to one of these tutorials in which I explain to my students how to download and how to access the Zoom meeting. I particularly prefer Zoom instead of Meet, Google Meet, although the Secretariat of Education in Cali supports more the G Suite, but it is because of the functionality it has, talking about Zoom. And well, the advantage I have, I don't know if you all have it, is that at my school the principal gave us full freedom to choose our teaching materials. So on screen you're seeing other manuals that I have created. In this case I explained how to access the Google Drive. On the left you're seeing how to do it from a computer, and on the right how to do it from the phone. So my students got that information also at school. On this slide you're seeing other instructive manuals. The one on the upper left corner is showing the procedure for registering on the Duolingo classroom. So they follow that instruction and they are given a code. I really recommend you to create, if you haven't, a Duolingo classroom. In my case, it has had great acceptance for many students. Others prefer to use the video game called Be the One Challenge. I gave them those 2 options, and some other students who didn't have access to a computer or didn't have internet connection had the opportunity to work on a physical book, and or even if they had connection but they didn't want to work on these applications, they had the opportunity also to use a digital book. So the other instructives that you're seeing on the same slide show how to check their own experience from the app in the cell phone, and on the right is showing how to do it from a computer. So here is a screenshot of another strategy that I have been using, which is the YouTube channel. So far I have around 38 videos, and my students have been watching these videos, and they have been discussing, talking about them in class. And we have also solved some guides, some learning guides based on the information shared on these videos. So this is another strategy that I recommend teachers in order to motivate students. Some of them feel really proud of their teacher. They even share the videos with friends and family members. Alright, so on the next slide you're seeing other strategies. So in the first picture on the left, on the upper left corner, well, that's a screenshot I took of one of my classes. In that class there were 21 students connected. The average varies from 15 to 23 or 25. The most students I have had connected in a virtual class is around 30. But as I said at the beginning, this varies. Sometimes they don't have access to the computer because they have to share it with other family members or their parents. The third picture, the one that you're seeing on the upper right corner, in which there is a dice with a question mark, that corresponds to an application, a website that I found really interesting, which is called Nearpod. I really recommend this app because there are a lot of activities that are already created there and that you can adapt. You just need to create an account as a teacher. Look for those activities. There is a menu on the left side of the website in which it says near pod library. You click there, and then there is a search box, and you type there the topic that you are interested in and you are currently teaching, and then you check it out, you add it to your personal library, and after that you can edit it and you can add other things, or you can eliminate those things. The one that is below these ones, it's a very popular one. It's called Padlet, and it's very good when you want to have discussion with your students. You can post there some questions and they can interact with you while you are in class. And the last picture, the one in white, is showing all the applications you have for the Google Suite. So here is the gamification I have been using. The one on the upper left corner corresponds to Be the One Challenge. This is a video game created by the Ministry of Education in Colombia, and is related to passing different missions. There are 7 missions and they all correspond to different countries. This one is going to help your students. I recommend it for higher grades. In my case, I teach, as you noticed in the first in the first slides, I teach only 10th and 11th grades. So I recommend it for them. They're going to reinforce in practice vocabulary, and it's kind of a good preparation for ICFES. And in the case of Duolingo, it's also a good preparation. Students learn tons of vocabulary related to different things. And once you create your classroom, you can assign different topics there related to what you are teaching. In this one, I recommend it to all the grades, even from primary. Okay, so as you can see in that screenshot that I took, it is showing my grades and the students who have decided to join this classroom, because as you noticed in the previous slides, I gave them the option to choose one of these 2 applications, 2 games. This is the guide that I created, where my students knew where to download the app and what was required from them. In this other screenshot, you can notice how you can assign homework to your students. In this case, it's showing 10-1, and in this classroom I have 9 students, and this is an example of the tasks that I assigned. For example, I assigned presente. In this case, the second phase of present, which was a little bit more difficult. It has 3 lessons. In Duolingo, you can choose past, present perfect, you can choose future, you can choose also vocabulary. And you can choose also to leave the students a goal per day in terms of experience. So if you just want them to choose any topic, but that you want them to practice every day for at least 15 minutes there, you assign those tasks here in the classroom. In this slide you are seeing how you can create the task, and then you can see also if the student completed or not the task. On this slide you're seeing the books that I have been using with 10th and 11th grade. You can find these books on Colombia Aprende. You just write down English please, and you can download the digital version of the book and also the audios. This is very interesting, and students had access to this on the drive and also physically. So here is an example of a guide, physical guide, and an ICFES type exercise that I have also been working on with my students. These 2 screenshots that you're seeing correspond to the working material that the English team has. As I mentioned before, it is important to have collaborative work. So in the meetings, we have been sharing our experiences, and as you can see, we have different folders, shared folders, to which all the teachers have access to. And within these folders, they have materials, and we also share the curricular documents and the institutional documents. So what are the outcomes of these strategies? On this slide, you're seeing different types of outcomes. Some students prefer to work on their notebooks, physical notebook, and they take pictures and they send them to my email, or they send them even to my phone. In this case, this is an outcome that resulted from a series of videos that I created on my YouTube channel that addressed topics related to nature, conservation, animals, animal vocabulary, confusion of some words, idioms related to animals, and I focused it on the Zoológico de Cali. The idea is to start familiarizing our students with what is in the immediate milieu. So we also talked about different celebrations, different forms in which people celebrate the birthday in Colombia, in different places. In Cali, we had this discussion through video conferences as well. On this slide you can see that. And students created some videos in which they shared a meaningful experience, birthday experience, based on these videos that I have created. As you can see, I created several videos. The one was related to celebrations, different celebrations, not only the birthday, but different celebrations in Colombia. And the second one was focused on how people celebrate, in this case, birthdays around the world. And I invited people, one person from Cali, one person from Africa, one person from Europe, to share their experiences. The next video was about idiomatic expressions, and the other one was related to zodiac signs. Okay, so on this slide, the students were supposed to first read some texts. One of them was related to how countries spend their money, and the other one was related to fashion. They had to carry out different tasks. One of them was to ask their friends and family members some questions related to how they invest their money, and the other tasks were related to their personal opinion on fashion and what are the strategies that these companies use in order to seduce the consumer. Alright, good. So what are the limitations and the conclusions that I can draw from this experience, which is, in which I am still learning and improving every day. So the first one is that in Latin America, especially in Colombia and in my city, although I live in the urban area, the digital divide, this digital difference between social strata is evident. We see it in public schools, we see it in public universities, and even in private universities as well. So in order to overcome this limitation, I think governments need to start working on some social, some kind of social program for students. We're seeing that the Ministry of Education has been working on that. As a matter of fact, we were informed a few weeks ago that we were going to receive some internet routers, portable internet routers for students, but still the number is limited. So my school has several branches. Well, we have probably more than 1,000 students counting all the branches. And if we include the students that visit us, that number is even higher. And we were informed that we were going to receive only 135 routers. So still, although there is some kind of program currently, it is not enough. well, that's what I have seen. I have also noticed that there is a lack of digital literacy, even not only from the students, but even from the teachers, and I include myself there. I have been, well, this experience has been a good opportunity for me to explore different tools and try them, and learn and apply with my students. I am pretty sure most of us in our first virtual classes, we had a lot of difficulties and a lot of issues, but as we continued, we have been learning a lot, and right now we have, let's say, we have advanced. But the idea is to, when you notice your students are not responding as you want, you need to check what is behind that. It's not always that they are not interested in your task, in your subject, but sometimes it's just that they don't know how to access materials, they don't know how to use their devices, and they don't know how to use different websites. So my recommendation here, and a conclusion that I can draw from this experience, is that we need to also guide our students in the usage of these tools. So we need digital literacy from both sides, and also from the school leaders, and even from the parents in the case of primary school, because they are the guides for the students. We need collaborative work as well. This is also something that I shared previously. But this is also because every member of the school needs to go in the same direction. The institutional outcome is affected when there is no teamwork. So having some space for having these meetings is very important, it's crucial. We need to create institutional meta-contingencies that yield educational changes. Well, this is something that I have learned recently, actually in a subject with Professor Paulo Paramo. And meta-contingencies are some practices that get people work together in order to get, let's say, a cultural practice change. In this case, if you want to improve the response of your students, probably you need to implement some kind of meta-contingency, and this includes assigning teamwork activities and making students work together towards a goal, and also you as teacher working together with the other teachers. This is going to help you create different kind of cultural practices. And also, well, the last conclusion is parent support. We really need to be constantly communicating with parents and supporting each other. All right. Although in the higher levels, for example, in my case, I also have spoken with the parents because the idea is that students need to be more responsible as they are, older, and they are going to face university in the near future, let's say. Good, thank you very much. I like this quote that I found. I do not fear computers, I fear lack of them. You can find, if you have any questions, you can write them to my email that you're seeing on screen. And also, if you want to check out some of the video materials that I have created, you can check also my YouTube channel, which is also on screen. Thank you very much.